All right, welcome to Fusion 360. This is a relatively large program for creating basically anything handheld to a vehicle. Not great for cityscapes or room design, although you can design furniture in here as well and then put it into room designs and AutoCAD and stuff like that. Fusion 360 is an Autodesk program, so it's made by the same people as AutoCAD. It's very powerful. So you've got this line across the top here, which is basically all of your drawing tools for making your objects. Over here, you've got your view cube, which is good for orbiting around the visual space. Down here, you've got some tools like orbit, pan, zooming in and out, but you can also do that through the mouse, and I'll talk about that in a minute. Over here on the left, you've got your drawing settings. You've got your folder where you're going to keep your pieces of the object or construction planes, that kind of thing. And I'll get into what construction planes are in a minute. If you right click, or not right click, just click on this down arrow here, you get the units window. You want to click on this little thing here. And this is typical for Fusion 360. Anytime you click on a new function that has a subcategory of commands, you'll get this window over here. I'm going to leave it in inches because that's what I'm going to be using, but if you need to, you can drop it down and change it to inches yourself. So the way we start off is we start off by either making construction planes or well, not construction planes yet. We start off with sketches. And say I start off with a line sketch like this. What happens is you get this window here that comes up asking you what kind of object you want to start on the flat ground or up on one side front or in the section view. I'm going to start actually in a front view. And I'm going to start at my 0 point here, and so I'm going to start just by clicking and dragging upward. I'm going to do a bottle design just to show the lofting tool, and then I'll talk about some of the other tools later. But first we'll start off with the lofting tool and a basic extrusion as well. So I want to create a kind of spine or backbone of my object. So I'm just going to go, how tall is a bottle? Maybe call it 7 inches, even though I think it's a little different, but you can look that up. 7, enter. And then that's going to be the height of my object. And then you got to think about how many sections you want to have in the bottle. So now if I click on this drop down window, I got my sketch 1 here, and you see if I hover over it, it highlights, and I can title it spine or whatever, so that I can keep track of what the names are. You can turn off and on the tools there as well, and then I'm going to create another line from here this direction. And it doesn't really matter the length because I'm just going to set where I want my sections to sit in space. And if I click on this and click on plane at an angle here, I can select a line and then make it at 0 degrees or 90 degrees. And now you'll see if I hit shift and middle mouse click, I've created a construction plane. What that is that's think of it as a flat piece of paper that's hovering over the ground so that you can draw on it. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to click here, and you can see that I've got plane 1. I can call it, bottle top. All one word's fine. So now I'm going to go back and I'm going to make another series of lines that I think I'm going to need. So let's go back to my sketch, create sketch, line, and I'm going to click on that so that I'm still drawing here. You'll see now I've got a sketch 2 here, and then I can kind of choose where I want that next construction plane to go. And I'm going to actually do a few of them on top. So if I click on this, go over 1 inch, enter, and then I'm just going to keep going, sketch, create sketch, L, and I'm going to do one more here, enter. Oops. Click, delete, got rid of that. Okay. Again, construction plane, plane at an angle, click on this line, set it at 90. And so again, we've got construction planes that are stacking up here. Click on this one, construction plane, plane at an angle, 90. And the reason why I have to call it 90 degrees instead of 0 degrees is because we're drawing vertically. And so it's drawn at a 90-degree angle when compared to a vertical plane. A little confusing, but don't worry about it. So now we've got bottle top, plane 2, plane 3, and go to sketch, create sketch, line, and I'm clicking on that create sketch so that it should create a new sketch every time. Let's make sure I'm selecting the front. And then I'm going to do one a little bit further down. And I'm just going to try to do this relatively quickly, so I'm not thinking as much about design as I probably should. Okay, so now that's sketch 3. Then create plane at an angle. Select the line. 90, enter. Sketch, create sketch, line. And let's back away so I can kind of get a good look at it. Click on this here. And then I'm going to do one here. And I'm going to make it stick out a little bit more. So this is going to be for me where 1.5, enter. This is going to be where I actually start making the body of the bottle. And then click here, plane at an angle. And this is all about organizing. So I'm just trying to keep my plate organized here. So now we look at these different construction planes. You can see I actually made 2 of them out of order, unfortunately. Plane 3, yeah. And then we go sketch, create sketch, click to set the plane that I'm working on, L for line, and then I'm going to do maybe just 2 more for now. One right here, and then click on that to get out, construct, and you can do all of your lines first. So let me do sketch, create sketch, sketch, create sketch. Hello. Stop sketch. Okay. Sketch, create sketch. Click. And that just shows you if something's not going right, you just click on stop sketch over here. And then I can hit L for line, and I'm going to do one here, and then click my check to get out, stop sketch, and then if I go line, click, and my base one that I'm just going to put right there. Enter. And I didn't create construction lines for this one, so I'm going to go construct, plane, 90, enter, construct plane, at an angle. And the reason why I'm using this one at an angle, the one above it is just for drawing it flat, which is a little easier, but if you use your plane at an angle, sometimes you can draw funky stuff. So just something to play with. So now you can see I've got, oh, and I missed this one too. Create construction plane, 90, enter. So now I've got all my construction planes set. Not quite in order, but I can organize them if I wanted to, but I'm not going to deal with it. So let's go ahead and erase all these lines. Now I'm going to go ahead and just start drawing actually. So now I'm going to start drawing. I'm going to do circles. Circles and ellipses work pretty well. Center diameter circle. And then place it on this plane. So when I start to draw out, it's related to that plane. I can do 1 inch on that one. Stop sketch. And you'll see that my circle is located on that selected construction plane. Next I can do another one. I'll do I'm just going to go ahead and actually erase, delete all of those. Oops, let me not do that actually. Delete all of them but the spine. No, I'm just going to save them for that center point. Never mind. Forget all that. Okay, so let's go ahead and do another circle. So just type C for circle. And then if you click on this plane, now I'm drawing on that plane again, do a C. And I'm going to make it a little fatter. Maybe, yeah, about that much. And then stop sketch. And keep going. C. Well, yeah, one more. We'll do this one here. Center out. And then this one I'm actually going to bring back in shape here. So it's a little smaller. Stop sketch. Shift and middle mouse click to orbit. And let's go to our front view so we can see where do we want to start the bottle. Maybe we'll just start it here. Okay, so now what I want to do is I'm going to actually draw a rectangle. And rectangle right here, I want to do a center rectangle. So I'm going to click on that. The reason why I want to do a center rectangle is because it grows out of the center just like the circle does. Click on this construction plane. And go back up to the top here. Click, and you'll see I can control my size and my shape of my circle. If I want it to come in a little bit there, do that one. Stop sketch. And then I'm going to go ahead and do a rectangle again. I think I can just do R for rectangle. Click on this plane. And then I know I'm drawing where I want in space. Otherwise, you got to move them all afterwards. Oh, if you just click on R for rectangle, it gives you the wrong kind. So, got to do center rectangle. Stop sketch. And the shape of your bottle is dictated by the shapes you choose here. So keep that in mind as you're trying to be creative. Create sketch. Click on this plane. Create. And I can do another, oops, sketch. Rectangle. Stop sketch. I don't like that size. I'm just going to delete that one. Oops, I deleted the construction plane. I'm just Command Zing to go back. Okay, so now I'm going to do a create rectangle. And this one I want a little bit smaller. Stop sketch. And then I'm going to have it kind of come out at the bottom there. So let's see. I wonder what happens if I create a sketch. Maybe let's try a polygon. Inscribed polygon, click on that. Click on this plane. Oops. Messed up. Stop sketch. Create sketch. Click on that plane. Sketch. Polygon. Inscribed. Click. Drag it out. And now I can specify the number of sides I want. So 6 is probably good. Click. Stop sketch. Shift and click to orbit around. Alright, so now I've got a series of construction planes with objects on it. And I want to actually I probably should have made them all associated. But I didn't. So, oh well. Let's just go ahead and loft it. Oops. Create. This is what you use to create objects in 3D forms here. And then you just start selecting the profiles you'd like your sketch to be made out of. Let's see. And okay. So that's what the Loft tool does. And you'll want to be more precise with figuring out how to create the circle, around the brim, using a couple of extra circular pieces. But just play with it. You'll see that the tools are pretty powerful. Once you get it to this state, you can click on this little guy here, click here, right click, and then save as an STL file. So saving it as an STL file, we get this window here, and we want to make sure it's in binary format, and we've got high refinement here, and then click OK. And what that'll do is I can call it boodle, and I'll go ahead and just place it on my desktop. And so that now has a has a 3D print ready to go. But what I'm going to do now is I'm going to show you a couple more tools. So I'm going to just delete all of that. Okay, so now let's start a new sketch. Create new sketch, and this time I'm going to start on a ground plane. Actually, let me stop the sketch and start on a ground plane. Sorry. Click on this. And now I'm going to draw some shapes. And the most basic tool, I want to just draw a shape like a circle. And draw it out. Shift and middle mouse click, or Shift and 2-finger click. And then E for extrude. Extrude is the easiest tool to use. Basically, you can create any form using the extrude tool. Okay, and then I can go draw a circle, or even an ellipse on this plane here. And you just click on the plane, and you can kind of get oops, create an ellipse here to here. And then stop sketch, E for extrude, click, and I can pull up these different sections. So that's the extrude tool. You can make it taper, like I've 5 degrees, or I got 50 degrees, whatever, to change that. So that's the extrude tool. It's more basic, of course, than what we just did with the Loft tool. Then there's one more tool that could be kind of fun to use. There's plenty of them. You guys, there's lots of YouTube videos out there that show you different stuff, but I'm going to just kind of give you the rundown. So if I go this way, back to this point here, back to that point there, that shape, just using a line tool, and then stop my sketch, and then go to create, and go to revolve. If I click on this object, select an axis point of this line, you see we get a revolve tool. So that can also be used for creating some bottle shapes and different types of geometry. Okay, so that's basically Fusion 360. Again, if I wanted to 3D print this, I've got a body right here, right click on it, go to save as STL file, and then OK, save it to my desktop, save. Next video I'm going to go into how to create, how to use the MakerBot software. Thank you very much.